Jenny, you're a customised employment facilitator, and Clare, workplace counsellor, and you work together in the Work First program, supporting the clients and working as a team. Clare, workplace counselling is probably a little bit different for a lot of people, and they probably not see it very much in employment. Can you explain your role and the benefits of the workplace counselling to the employment process and how it supports Jenny's work in customised employment?
Sure. So I guess the role of the employment counsellor is really to support the work of the customised employment facilitator, because they're the ones gathering information about the client and what they want to do for work, what their interests and passions are, and all of that. Then I come in and I learn more about them and kind of about the specific goals that they want to set. So while Jenny will be going out and visiting workplaces, I will be sitting with the client and doing more of like a therapy style and a counselling style conversations, where we get to use quite specific goal setting processes to support the huge goal, which is employment. So Jenny and I work together, we see the same client, and after a few sessions we'll come together and share the insights that we have about that client with each other, which I think really supports the employment process, but supports each of our work together, so that we have like a full picture of the client and what they want to achieve.
So in a sense, the workplace counsellor is working in the background on the client's capacity, their self-determination, their self-advocacy, the idea that around decision making and having a voice. And of course we know those are important ingredients in employment longevity and creating meaningful employment. So what's the impact of that information on your role, Jenny, as the employment facilitator?
Sure, it's absolutely vital. The work that Clare does with our individuals is crucial to what I actually do in terms of job development and going out to employers and speaking with employers and organising work experiences and so on. Clare offers that support and guidance, and I basically look for the job side of things.
Right, so when we're looking at that, I guess you're going to see things in workplaces that you might think, well, okay, this might impact on the client, but the client really wants to be in this environment.
Sure.
Do you take that information to Clare and say,
absolutely,
look, this is what we've seen, we might need support around this? And Clare, how do you use that information?
So using that information is really important. It's what I see it as is it's important for the longevity of the job. So if we know that information, like what the person's strengths might be in a workplace versus what might the challenges be, if we know what the challenges are before they go and get employment, then we have time to prepare. And that's what we do in the employment counselling sessions, is it's really just all preparation and support. So instead of someone going out into the workforce and really not feeling like they've kind of gone through each scenario and made sure that they're confident and prepared, then it's a lot more likely that they will struggle in their employment, or it'll be more of a challenging process. So when we go and gather that information, it's really the main goal is to, you know, make sure that that employment is sustained and manageable for that person.
So,
absolutely.
In a sense, what we're doing with the workplace counselling is, while we're building their capacity and preparing someone for a workplace, we're kind of taking the edge off the process. So it's not like you're not working one day and the next day you're in a cold environment, and there's a whole lot of anxieties that go with that. And of course, the clients we're working with are people with disabilities, so anxiety is, well, for everybody, but more so for someone that might not be able to clearly identify in the workplace.
Yeah, that's what I see it as. Is it's like everyone finds finding employment, or the whole employment process, nerve-wracking. You know, job interviews, people get nervous about that stuff, and I think that's why the clients that we see, it's even more important to make sure that that process is kind of as least stressful as possible and in a way that they're enjoying it, because the people that we see already have barriers to employment. So making sure that they feel supported and confident, that's pretty much what the role is, I would say, is the employment counsellor.
Right. And Jenny, do you see the benefits of that with the clients
Absolutely.
you're working with?
Yeah, Claire's role is absolutely vital to, like Claire said, for longevity in a job situation. And at the moment, I've got a young man in post-placement support, and I did a session with him the other day, and he's actually advised me that he's extremely anxious. So that's something I would actually talk to Claire about, and together we'll work out a way in which we can actually maybe subdue those kind of feelings. But yeah, together we can actually combat that with the individual, and hopefully that his employment will keep going as a result.
Right, so that highlights the benefit of the workplace counsellor being able to
Yep.
come in really importantly in the post-placement area where
Absolutely.
the client's developing anxieties. The counsellor can step in and go, okay, let's look at that, what's creating that, and what are the strategies to minimise that so that it makes the employment more sustainable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, where is it coming from? You know, if those challenges are brought up during that post-placement support, like anxiety, where is that anxiety coming from? What's making it worse? Do they already know coping strategies, like in a workplace, that they can use? Or is it time to restart that conversation about managing stress in a workplace? Because
Sure.
it's, you know, it's in that post-placement, it's three, two P's and an S, but in that post-placement support, that's when you can iron out all of that stuff, and because it's kind of in person, like it's really happening compared to the preparation. So I think, you know, with that the post-placement support, those things are going to come up, but it's a good thing because they're prepared and we can work on it together. Like, they have two
Exactly.
support people
That's right.
in the employment process to work through it.
And I guess with me, I'm the person that will be speaking with the employer. So, you know, like with this particular young man, I've already contacted the employer and expressed the concerns that I have and the anxieties that this young man has. And the employer had no idea, because this young man can really mask it. But when I talked to this young man, he said that 95% of the time he's anxious.
Right, so that illustrates the purpose of engaging with the employer, and clearly how workplace counselling can be beneficial to the employer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think making sure that individual is supported, that's going to help the employer really a lot, because it just ensures that that individual's enjoying the work and doing productive work. I think if someone's really struggling in employment, then it's going to affect the employer because they're not probably doing productive work or enjoying it. So yeah, I think making sure that the client is supported directly impacts the employer and the whole workplace.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much. That's a really good, gives us a really good understanding of how the two roles work together.
You're welcome.